LBD here, and I have a game review for you today. Now, today's game review is going to be on Resistance Burning Skies. This is the 5th installment in the series, and this one's done by Nihilistic Software. In this game, you're Tom Riley. Excuse me, I forgot the name all of a sudden. Tom Riley. He's a New York firefighter, and you're going to be taken with him into the first day or two of the Chimeran North American invasion. So it's kind of fitting that Resistance would be the first game to show off the dual analog controller for a first-person shooter. So let's see what it did for it. With any game, the most important part is going to be presentation. How did it look? How did it feel? Well, first off, Tom Riley's a firefighter. So in the first part of the level, you're responding to a fire call. And then that's when the Chimera show up. Those blasted Chimera. Anyways, so you finally get out of that, and then you come up to the main NPC. That's the person you're going to be fighting alongside most of the time. And for the most of the game, you're really Tom's just trying to get to his wife and daughter and try to save them and get the hell out of there. So, oh my goodness, the characters in this game. I understand that they're trying to make these great characters, but these guys are forgettable. Just utterly forgettable. In any attempt to pull on your heartstring to make you feel like, oh, and the emotional types, just fall flat. You got to care about the characters first. Then if something happens to them, that's, then you would be like, oh man. But emotional wise, I didn't care. So anytime anything happens to any character, whatever, c'est la vie. Kill a person. I don't give a crap. Nobody dies. But anyways. So after that, the levels. The levels themselves lack detail altogether. Just pretty bland. The walls and everything, just nothing. And a lot of times, in a Resistance game, there's a lot of huge set pieces. This totally lacked huge set pieces. Like these big, awe-inspiring, oh man, this is so crazy. Didn't exist. Until the last boss, I guess. But in the rest of the game, they recycled the same two bosses, or mini-bosses, if that's what you want to call them, through the whole game. So it's like you kept on playing the same bosses over and over again. Not a lot of variety. Basically, in this game, it was run to the next place, shoot Chimera. Run to the next place, shoot Chimera. It didn't change very much at all. There was a weapon upgrading system, and so what you would do is you would go around looking for and collecting what they called gray tech. So with each gray tech that you collect, you can add an attribute to a specific weapon. Like for the carbine, I like to use reload, so faster reload. So kind of like sleight of hand in Call of Duty. That was pretty cool. Personally, I prefer Resistance 3 upgrade system, where it's more like an RPG element, where the more you use it, the more experience you gain, the better your gun gets, and it adds different attributes. I think that was the way to go. Lastly, as far as presentation goes, cutscenes. The cutscenes really kill you in this game. The cutscenes are terrible in this one. So basically, when you start up a new level, there's a cutscene, a dramatic cutscene to get you in the mood of what's happening in the game. It cannot be skipped. So let's say if you're in the middle of the game and you got to go to work or you got to go to school or something like that, you end the game, or you can cancel out of it. Well, when you go back to do the continue, you have to watch that intro video again. No cutting, and some of these could be like 2 minutes long. I'm not waiting 2 minutes to get into the game. Then, the cutscenes within the game, within the actual levels, are a pain in the ass too, because if you replay levels, you can't skip them. I want to skip the cutscenes. I just do. I want to skip the cutscenes. And, that really hurt the presentation of this game and how I felt about it playing it. I started to just want to not play this game. Real lame. So I'd give presentation about a 7. Next up is sound. Burning Skies has a great orchestrated soundtrack that pretty much Nihilistic Software decided not to use, or barely use. In the menu system, it sounds great. It's like, wow, this is going to be a suspenseful game. It's going to be action-packed. And then the game, it comes in and out. Why is the soundtrack coming in and out? I don't know why. So, at times, it'll abruptly stop. And then that's when the unofficial soundtrack to this game shows its ugly face. Footsteps. So there's so much, and in the game, it's nothing but footsteps. Nothing but footsteps. The whole game. Footsteps. So, if Tom Riley is a firefighter, Why does he sound like he has high-heeled shoes all the time? It shouldn't sound like this. Especially when you're in like a hardwood floor area, it's like, what is going on? Are we in an office building? I don't know. The guy's wearing boots. The guy's a firefighter. Why does it sound like that? Anyways, I guess the next thing that really annoys me about this sound, other than the soundtrack, is the gunfire. I think some of the gunfire sounds weird. I think it's like if you were to take like one of those Home Depot buckets, turn it upside down, and start hitting with drumsticks. That's not what a gun sounds like. So I think Nihilistic should have actually for this whole game probably should have watched the videos of Uncharted: Golden Abyss, because you would see how sound effects and music really make a game what it is. The soundtrack's supposed to build suspense and build like like, oh, something's happening, this is great, this is it really adds to the sense of what you're doing when you're playing the game. And this game did not do that. Sound for Burning Skies, I'm gonna give a 5. Next up is controls, and I am happy to say that controls is the best part of this game. The controls for Resistance Burning Skies are exceptional. Totally the highlight. The dual analog for this first-person shooter feels natural. It'll feel natural to every veteran of a first-person shooter, Call of Duty, whatever. I felt really natural to do it. I was like, wow, I'm playing a first-person shooter on a portable. This is great. And this is exactly what Sony needs. A game that makes you feel like this is a first-person shooter. The controls are great, and they are. The sprint button was pretty cool. As far as on your Vita, you pretty much just you hold down the directional pad. Hold down the directional pad once, and then he runs, and then you can move forward with your analog stick. That's it. Other than that, you can double tap and he'll run as well. Not bad. Not bad at all. I usually use the down on the directional pad to run. Other than that, the touchscreen controls were great. Throwing grenades felt natural. Reloading your crossbow felt natural. Really good. Very good controls. And it wasn't overused. That's the key on this. I mean, I understand this only came out in February, but this is still relatively new. Gaming system. So they did not overuse touch controls at all. So if you're one of those people that hates touch controls and wishes they did not use it very much, Resistance Burning Skies does not have a whole lot of touch controls to make you go, I hate this. Turn off the touch controls. I wish I was playing something else, playing my console. It does not do that. The controls are great. Outstanding controls. This is a 9. This game is a 9 for controls, my friend. A 9. Any game you want to know that this game will last a decent amount of time depending on what genre this game is. So this game is a first-person shooter. So it's expectedly short. Usually first-person shooters aren't very long. So you could probably finish this game in about 5 to 6 hours. If the story was better and more engaging, I could see them tacking on maybe an hour or two more. But this game, you do not want to go on any longer than what it is. For the most part, I found myself trying to finish the game just to finish the game because I knew I was almost done with it. So this is a pretty short game. And if the multiplayer was a little bit better, I would play this game for a lot longer. But the multiplayer is pretty shallow. There's not really a whole lot of perks and stuff like that you can do, so not something they keep. As far as trophies go, this game is great for trophies. With one playthrough, you pretty much have a platinum trophy. So if you're trying to get trophies, this is best case scenario. A quick trophy get. This one right here. I got a platinum in like 2 days into having it in the game. So overall, I think length, I give this game a 6. Or should it be like this? Because I'm on the opposite side of the camera. Whatever. It gets a 6. Lastly is the lasting impression. Resistance Burning Skies is a very decent first-person shooter. And Vita's first FPS, it's not bad. Like I said, it's decent. If this was a launch title, I think the reviews would have been a lot better. But at this point, there's some things that just can't be overlooked. It has a lackluster story. Combined with that, forgettable characters is the demise of this game. It had plenty of promise. It's just those things really affect it. if you're a big FPS fan and you really want to play something like that on a Vita, this might be worth a buy. If you're the casual shooter type, this is a rent for sure. So let's check out and see what the ratings are for this game. What ratings did I give it? Well, 64%. So basically, you could just assume, like I said before, it's average at best. Big first person shooter fan and want to play something on the Vita? This is your game. If not, rent it. So, if you like this video, please subscribe. And please rate, yes, good, bad, whatever. Please rate it. I would like to get some feedback. So, well, here's to the next video. May the force be with us all.